This is Bucket Talk, a weekly podcast for people who work in the trades and construction that aren't just trying to survive, but have the ambition and desire to thrive. The opportunity in the trades and construction is absolutely ridiculous right now. So if you're hungry, it's time to eat. We discuss what it takes to rise from the bottom to the top with people who are well on their way and roll up their sleeves every single day.
All right. This episode of Bucket Talk, we got a very special guest, one that I grew up with, watching, idolizing. We have Tommy Passamonte, and he also goes by the name Streetbike Tommy. Streetbike Tommy, welcome.
My man. It's funny. You actually called me Streetbike Tommy. Everybody these days is like, "Oh man, you're that dirtbike Danny guy, streetcar Timmy. Hey, come here."
So when I first, watching Nitro Circus, watching Travis Pastrana, all that stuff. We grew up on it. It was like you're out there trying to do those tricks. You know, you're taking your little BMX bike off a little wooden ramp and just lighting your day up. But in all seriousness, you were not an outsider, but you were different than most of the people on that show. You had a background in the trades. You just happened to be part of that crew. They took you in, but really wanted to get down and dirty on what you do as a construction worker, a little bit more into the Nitro Circus stuff, but how'd you get your start?
Dude, so I'm extremely different than the rest of the crew. Those guys, so a lot of action sports athletes actually do have a pretty solid background in construction, surprisingly.
Yep.
Where, they're just a bunch of like blue collar dudes that save up some loot and they buy dirt bikes or skateboards or whatever they end up doing, and they get good at it, and they obviously drop construction. I never really got good at anything, so I never ever dropped construction.
Yep.
So I actually, my background in the trades, I grew up second generation commercial drywall man. My dad had still has a drywall company, but we don't really do drywall anymore. Long story, but grew up doing commercial drywall, metal framing. We did a bunch of tenant space for these big office buildings in Laurel and DC and Virginia and as far north as Baltimore. We just the DMV. We did a ton of like lease space where corporations would come in and they would want a whole floor leased out. So like we would take it down to the actual structure. Yep. And then put the walls back however they wanted it.
Yeah.
And it was always very simple, only 90s, shell white paint, vinyl base, no padding, roll out carpet, the easiest drop ceiling you ever think of.
Yeah.
It was a big deal if we were doing reveal tile. And I remember my dad teaching me how to do reveal tile. And I thought I was like a wizard. And I had like these, I thought I was like, oh, I'm experienced, bro. I got all these skills because I can put a reveal on a tile.
Oh, dude, man. The 90s was wild. So different. At floral print, gold fixtures. It was just like, yeah. I don't know. People are demoing those houses right now, but
dude, and we thought we were killing it because we were pulling down wood paneling and like all that brushed brass.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so awful. But yeah, dude, that actually carried me into the whole stunt world because when my friends, they were all going off to college and it seemed like every single friend I had went off to college to get degrees and whatever they were going to do. And I was like, I am forever going to be a drywall man. Like I dropped out of high school because I was positive I was going to be a drywall guy.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
And did you ever go back? Or you?
No.
Dude, that's crazy. I know some guys in the trades, legit. I know some guys in the trades didn't complete 8th grade and whatever, but you just don't hear it anymore, right?
Right.
And
well, because like even nowadays, man, like anybody that really makes money on a job site is like those like just pencil pushing. I read a book once, and it's like, bro, if you didn't learn by doing, like, I have no respect for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and the quicker you can, now I'm not saying for anybody to drop out, but the quicker you can get out there and the
Well,
quicker
yeah.
you can start learning, the more money you're gonna make quicker.
Well, instead of being a bartender to get by college, like, maybe you should take up a small trade and be a laborer, you know?
Yeah,
Um, or just an apprentice of any kind, because, like, the amount of money you make versus some random ass college job, um, man, I can't believe, like, how well we're still getting paid these days. Like, I mean, it really is. It's gotten me by, like, some tight times, because the stuff that people don't see with filming and doing the TV shows and all that stuff and the traveling with the tour, it's really nice when it's happening, but there's huge gaps of time in
yeah,
between. And, like, if you don't have, and, like, I'm not like some super like Travis guy where I have like stuff, just sponsors out of sponsors out of sponsors, you know, like I have sponsors where if you see me push a product, I only got that product. Like, I'm not
I got
getting,
8'5" gypsum wallboard. If y'all need it, hit me
yeah, yeah,
up.
yeah. Hook a brother up, you know. I'm moonlighting over here. Just don't tell the permit office, because I'll be pulling this.
Dude, imagine getting like a fucking like a drywall sponsorship. You're the only guy out
Oh,
there ripping it up with it.
yeah. Come on, man. Let's get a sheetrock sponsor or a USG. Yo, USG, hook a brother up. Bro, I've been trying to get Milwaukee tools, and they keep ducking me, man. They keep ducking me.
Gonna
But
have to go. We got Ryobi then. I mean, that's the next. That's the next place. I'm just saying, right?
was that podcast over?
Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap.
No, I mean, Ryobi Tools is amazing. We should probably use Ryobi Tools.
There you go.
But that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I never got any huge contracts or anything like that. Like, I made decent money, but, like, as a young man that didn't graduate high school, like, you don't learn till later how dumb you've been with your money. Um, and then, you know, you think it's always going to keep coming. And then, like, you know, those times where I did get hurt and I'd have to go 6 months, because they don't pay you. They, like, if you're not out there doing it, see you pimping, like, bye,
Yeah.
next up, you know, because, like, unfortunately, Nitro Circus was never like Jackass. Like, Jackass stayed a family throughout, and, like, they just always looked out for each other. And, you know, Jackass, like, you see them as Jackass, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are
Yep.
the dudes. They might have a person or two on and off, like, you know, they had me on in Jackass 3, but you don't see them adopting like new characters until just recently, because everybody's just kind of getting old.
Yeah.
But it's like Nitro Circus, dude, like, from the gate, like, the only time there was any like actual loyalty was the MTV days. And, like, that was the greatest days of MTV. Like, Nitro Circus was MTV, and it was my favorite times, period. Like, it just seemed like everything after that was just like, we're trying to get back to that, and it just never, everything was clown shoes, you know. It's like, it's kind of corny, like, they,
Well, and you guys were coming up at that point in time. Like you
yeah,
guys had made a name for yourself, but Travis Pastrana was still somewhat of a new character,
right.
and what does it go back to? What was it? Krusty's when they
Oh yeah,
first originally
correct.
found him. So
Yeah,
he was a lot younger
dude, he
than a
was like,
lot of those dudes that had established themselves in that industry. So he was really still creating a name for himself, and
he was,
you guys just came out the gate with like a whole nother fucking genre.
yeah. It was so rad, man. Like, just being part of that whole thing growing, and
Yeah,
helping shape it into what it is today. And I just feel like, I don't know, the brand's just not very um loyalist. Like, dude, the stuff that really gets on my nerves, it's like, you know, they have a bunch of people that work in the office that just like are very corporate.
yeah,
um and it's like, it's been very frustrating, because, like, you know, it seems like the fans and like people that have watched me throughout this whole thing, like, they understand that, like, I've been around and like helped create that brand. I get like these cubicle kids that are like, they'll label me as like Streetbike Tommy, Nitro Circus funny guy, and I'm like, oh, I'm the funny guy, and
Yeah.
like they have no idea like what I've done or what I am to the brand whatsoever. They're just some kid out of college. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be the social media control person for Nitro Circus, and it's just like, oh, it's been very frustrating of late. So I've really just recently fallen completely back on the trades and just been like, I've never really created a life for myself at home. Like I've never I've always had roots in Annapolis, Maryland, but I've never like sat down and been like, you know what, I need to build a life for myself instead of constantly chasing the carrot,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people can relate, especially in the trades, is like, we'd talk with long haul truckers, with longshoremen, with anybody that's on the road for a long time, and
Yeah.
they could relate to the shit that you're doing. You did a ton of travel, and like at some point in time, they're just like, I want to do something a little less extreme, and
Yeah.
I just want to like have my weekends or fucking hang out with my kids.
This has been the longest I've been home since I've been an adult, and like it's been super nice to have like a routine, actually be included in future plans. Like my friends are actually like, oh my god, you can make it this weekend, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like I'm gonna be around. So I haven't like made any like career plans. Like I'm just trying to feel it out right now. So I'm actually doing some pretty cool carpentry stuff around Maryland right now. So I'm doing like decks, full house remodels, additions, you name it, to like cabinets, to trim, base. I mean, you name it, man. Crown, all like top to bottom, doors, windows, just basic carpentry. But what really got me into outside of drywall, like what shifted my gears, was actually through COVID. Um, because everybody knows the government's handling of COVID was just awful, and it killed the entertainment industry, which I was doing a TV show at the time called The Explosion Show on Science Channel with Tori Belici.
No, yeah, hit
Yeah,
me up.
check
Give
it
a little
out, man.
background on it.
Yeah, it's just a show where me and Tori Belici from MythBusters,
Yeah,
um, it was like host co-host, and we went around and we just blew stuff up.
that's right
It
up
was,
my alley.
and did like the science on it, like
Yeah,
actually like, and it was like probably my favorite job I've ever had. Like it, for real, for real. I wasn't scared to go to set. I got to blow stuff up. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. But COVID killed that because we couldn't film. And like at the time, I had a barbecue restaurant that I was opening, and I was just over my first year in business, and I got shut down and didn't have any lines of credit because I hadn't been in business long enough.
yeah.
So COVID killed that. And like I said, like let me correct, the government's handling of COVID killed that. Um, so basically, I didn't know really what to do to keep the bills paid. So I actually just went down to Texas, and I stayed for pretty much throughout that whole first year, year and a half, down in Texas. Luckily, with my friend JT from Black Rifle Coffee,
Yep.
and he had his buddy as a roommate at the time, Jeremy. Uh, he's a fighter that was on Ultimate Fighter
Okay.
a while ago, and like that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, but like he was doing this heavy timber frame stuff, and I fell back on my trades because like I had no other. I was like, what am I going to do? Well, down in Texas, life didn't change at all. Like nobody cared about masking, nobody cared about social distancing. It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like life never changed, but like one day he just needed help, and he was like, hey man, you want to come help me, we actually did these this giant pergola. Like he was doing this huge pergola for like a big commercial bank, that heavy timber frame stuff. And I was like, sick, dude, I'm down. Like a pergola is easy as hell.
Yeah.
So we just went out there, slapped up a pergola, and he was just pumped because like, one, I don't do drugs. I had my own truck. I had my own tools, and I'm reliable. So
Now with the timber framing, were you doing like the old style, or was it just old reclaimed wood that you guys are screwing together?
This particular job that I started with was all new wood.
Yeah.
But it was and like we did like it was commercial, so we were fastening to tabs,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Everything was like anchored with concrete footers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then we did a bunch of other stuff where there. So if any of the listeners are familiar and want to see my work, I did a lot of the stuff down in Texas at the stockyards. This is probably the job that like
I just came
people.
back from the stockyards.
But so it's that gangster ass hotel they built down there. God, what the hell was the name of it? Is man, my brain is just farting like crazy right now. It's the sick like fresh. It's got a number. God, my brain is not working right now.
I'm on it. Keep going with the story though.
Yeah, it's like it's a Marriott property. But we did a bunch of like shiplap stuff with reclaimed wood and like these huge beams for their event center, and a few of the bars have some really cool rough cut timbers for the bar area.
Yeah.
God, what the hell was that?
I'm looking. I can't find it.
It's killing me. It's in the stockyards, and we were there for a while, man. Like we set these big old like fireplace mantles that are just these like really ornate, huge pieces of oak.
The Crescent?
No, it's like a.
Oh, the white one.
Oh man,
Hold on a second. It's really
it's like the
nice.
sickest place I've ever seen in my life.
Hold on a second.
As soon as you say it,
is
my
this
brain,
Drover? No.
The Drover.
Is it?
Is there a number attached to it?
97 West Hotel Drover.
I want to say it's a Marriott property. I think is the Drover.
Yeah,
because they had just named it when we left.
Okay.
Like right as we were wrapping up, it had the.
That was right there with all the shops, all the brick shops right there.
Yeah.
And then I mean that's where like we went down there for PBR Worlds and like it's just like McLaren,
it was
freaking G-Wagon.
Well, it's got the big ass. So like when I was leaving, they put up this big ass like cowboy that was like a neon cowboy that was lasso.
Yep. It's the Drover right up front, and there's like water fountains, everything. No, that's crazy.
Dude. So like the millwork in that place. Oh, even on the outside. So when you're looking at the Drover, the reclaimed wood to the right on the outside of the building.
Yep.
That's all me. Yeah, dude. Me and Jeremy May did a ton of work in there, dude. And that's who I was working with. We were doing a ton of stuff subcontracted out Texas Timber Frame. So,
like every hotel room's got like exposed beams.
Dude, so it's like the sickest place ever. And they had just named it the Drover, like right as we were like wrapping up.
Dude, it looks like something out of Yellowstone, like a Montana Lodge type deal.
It is the sickest. I want to go stay there. I haven't had a chance to get down there and stay. But so like that's the kind of stuff that I was doing was like those big commercial stuffs. And then we traveled out to Nebraska for a couple months and actually stayed on site and did this like golf course that was all cedar siding and cedar trim, and it's just really fun, when you're using a big giant 24-inch circular saw. A
Widowmaker.
Oh, dude, the coolest tools in the world, man. Those big red clown hammers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to use them in the automotive. Big fucking deadbolt hammers. Big old snap-on fucking.
Yeah. I was like, hey man, go get the Ronald McDonald.
That's it. It's fucking crazy. That's awesome, dude. So I mean, it's kind of cool. Like just to recap, so you started off, for a lot of people that don't understand the progression, and I've been there, and a young Jeremy, young mechanic, I'm like, doing oil changes, doing shit like that. I'm trying to picture myself as like the top guy, and how do I get there? And a lot of it is just absorbing knowledge, paying attention, helping out, getting your hands dirty. I mean, you literally went from hanging sheetrock to now doing timber work, finish work, tile, all that shit. and it's like you can make the jump, and it's kind of a light switch too. It's like next thing you know, you're doing it, and you're like, "Fuck! I never
yeah,
understood how to get here."
my biggest advice to anybody trying to get in the trades is just get in it. Pay attention to the older dudes, because like, to start, like, you can do any trade that you want if you can read a tape measure. Like, for real, if you can read a tape measure and do some basic math,
Yep.
like, you can build anything. You just got to be around the old dudes that know how to do like the little things that are going to help you along your way, and like planning your next piece, and a lot of that, if you how I felt like I learned the most was when I would do demo with the older guys.
Really?
Like, because like, when back in the early days, when my dad would be like, "Hey, all these walls need to come down," and me and my brother, we would go in there and we would knock these walls down aimlessly, like with hammers, just hitting them as many times as possible and turning it into dust. And like, the old guys come in just shaking their head,
fucking clean it all up.
"You dickheads!" Where nowadays, dude, all I do is I'll run my sawzall down the middle of a wall,
pull them out in big pieces neatly in the dumpster.
I'll whole sheets.
Yep.
And like, super clean, easy. And then like, it's like little things, like little touches, like you run your razor blade, your utility blade down your joints where the wall that you don't want to mess up meets the wall that you are messing up. You cut that tape joint so you don't have to redo the mud on the wall that you don't want to mess up.
Nice.
It's like little things like that you pick up from experienced people. It's like little tricks, or like just dumb stuff is like, tacking your trim up so you don't have to hold those 16-foot pieces if you don't have like, a little lackey to hold it for you.
Yeah.
Just dumb stuff, man. Like, getting into trades is like the best thing in the world. And I think that everybody should learn how to do it, because one, it's great money for you to do it. And two, even if you plan on doing something else with your life, it's really cool to have that skill to where you don't have to call anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, for anything. I mean, it's transferable across a lot of planes, and like, you can pick and choose what you want to do. I can't stand fucking painting. I will pay a painter to come and fucking paint my house, but I'll tackle pretty much anything.
Dude,
sometimes it's a little dangerous, but we
get
it done.
I love painting, actually. I do. So I'm a drywall finisher. That's a skill that people still look at me like I'm a wizard. Like, even like super old heads are like, they see my skills with that and they're like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Bro, so like, it was easy for me because like my dad actually started me in finish work by letting me make my own peanut butter sandwiches, and he used to tell me to make the peanut butter as smooth as I could."
Mudding and taping, man, that's an art in itself.
Yeah, that's how he started me. He was like, "I'll let you get into real mud if you can make your sandwiches smooth."
Shit, that's one way of looking at it. But you're right. It's wild, because I should have drawn the connection here, because there is a different temperament to people that mud and tape and paint versus your normal construction work. Usually they're a little less stress free.
Yeah.
So they're just, and they really enjoy their work, and like nothing rattles them. You're not gonna get a hothead in there fucking mud and taping, because
framers, bro, are the hottest heads.
My brother-in-law's one.
Oh my god, like, strictly framers crack me up,
dude.
Like, it is the funniest shit in the world how like short-tempered, and like, they know everything until they have to do it.
Yep.
It's like, hey, they're like, "Why are you doing it like that?" Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, so like, what I'm going to need you to do the next hour is, just build this bulkhead real quick. And like, they'll put up the framing. It's like, yeah, okay, but now do the drywall. And they're all like,
nope. Well, it's also above them too,
That's what they think. Yeah.
That's what they think.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. All right, so fast forward a little bit further. Like, what, you had the barbecue gig, you had all this other stuff going on. What are you thinking for the future? Your own company?
Dude,
are you just playing it by ear right now?
Like for real, I don't even know. Like I just got a bug up my butt, and I was like, you know, I'm over it. And like I just fully committed to being home, and like I didn't have a clue with what I was gonna do, but because I'm a skilled dude and I have all my own tools, I got a running truck, I'm on time, and I don't do drugs, so
Yeah.
it's like in the construction world, I'm upper management material, bro, with just that.
Yeah, like pick one if you
Yeah,
want to work.
yeah. That's also
you,
so it's
you
funny
got like
what
a trifecta right there.
dude, in the trades, it's amazing that you can just literally show up. And as long as you show up on time,
Sober.
yeah, it does not matter if you can do it or not. They just want you there.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And sometimes not sober, but we don't condone
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, dude, back in my day, my dad used to get so mad at me, bro. I'd come into work just straight out of the bar,
Fucking
hammered,
shattered. Yeah.
hammered. He'd be like, "Go home." I'm like, "Why?"
We used to have, and I don't know, we were around when I first got into the industry, we were around the time when like breathalyzers became a thing in cars.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our customers would leave like a fresh mouthpiece in there, like,
Yeah.
and then you just had to blow into it to bring it into the garage. And I'm like,
Right.
fuck.
I can't. But dude, you know what's so funny? I was actually just talking about this the other day. Even today, in 2023, right? This one of my like almost every Milwaukee tool that I have.
Yeah,
This just for instance, this is my pocket knife. Every Milwaukee tool
that costs
has
like
a
50
bottle
bucks.
opener.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Dude, my radio has a bottle opener. My speed square has a bottle opener. My
Everything's
knife,
fucking twist off now anyway. I don't get. I
dude,
don't get it.
I don't get it. Like, what kind of fancy ass construction dudes you trying to like appeal to here?
I like the. I don't know if you've seen like a whole bunch of the parodies, but now they got those like silicone like Coca-Cola sleeves that go over the beer can.
Yeah, dude. Well, dude, that's like a guy that I actually like one of the dudes that I had to work with when I was younger because he was like one of those dudes, like one of my dad's longtime friends.
Yeah.
Um he was just the drunkest human being ever. And like they called the guy Grub, man. He was just like that. Like picture a guy named Grub with red hair and a beard,
Yeah.
like a weird, like not like a cool beard, but like a
Yeah.
scrappy beard. That is exactly who that. Oh, he was just. I don't know, but he was
Marlboro
just great.
Light and Budweiser.
Wait, he
That's
would no, dude,
no
way worse.
smoker. Way
No,
worse.
no, he would smoke, but it was like American spirits. And it was like he drank Bush Lights, and he would knock back a 30-pack a day,
Yep.
starting at 2 o'clock when he would get off. He would go out to his white Beretta, and he'd pump his trunk, and he would pull out warm Bush Light out of a 30-pack, and he would stick it in this like 10-year-old 7-Eleven cup that he had, and he would stick his straw
Straw
down in,
right into it. Yeah.
and he would drive home like that, and he'd be like,
The trick. The trick. Yeah,
bro,
that's
get out of here. So like long story, but I don't have children of my own, but I got my little guy Will. He's my ex stepson. He's been in my life since he was 3 weeks old.
yeah.
And he's 10 now. And he like likes to play Roblox, and like he FaceTimes me all the time, and like
Yeah.
we play Roblox with FaceTime in the background, so like we can talk.
Yeah.
So he was just trying to FaceTime me like that. I was like, oh, I got to turn that put me on silent. My bad, homie.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, fucking, my kids learned how to use Alexa, and like it's tied to my wife's phone. So they're like, it's like call Jeremy Perkins, and then they call me.
Yeah.
And so it comes up as my wife's number. I'm like, shit, what's up? And it's like my kids, and it's like, Dad. I'm like,
dude, I actually got Travis real bad one time. Because this was like before we all knew, like this is like right, he had Alexa like right out of the gate, because like they sent him stuff,
had that prototype,
but it was like his wife's Lindsay's number, and like we 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 were all drunk, and we hit him up, and like we said, Alexa, call Travis, and like he was like, "Hey, babe." I was like, what? And he was like, "Who's this?" Like all quick. I was like, "I don't know, bro. This is just this girl's phone I'm hanging out with."
Dude, that's gonna be
He
the
was
worst
like,
fucking thing ever.
he was like so pissed that he didn't even recognize my voice, which like really like blew me away.
Yeah.
He like saw red that fast. And he was like, "What are you doing with my wife's phone?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. We were just hanging out. She didn't say anything about being married." And he was just like, he had this like pause right then. And then we were ah!
Yeah, you don't want to take that any further.
He was so, oh, dude, I'd never heard that voice before. And then he didn't even think it was funny after. Like, he wasn't like, "Ah, good one, guys." He was just like, "Stop playing." Click.
That's fucking hysterical.
Oh, man. It was
So
good.
let's I mean, obviously our listeners are probably itching. What is your craziest fucking accident you've had other than, I mean, was the ball pit the accident of your life, or
I mean, that was,
or the foam pit, ball pit? Jesus Christ.
yeah. Well, so you're not the first person that said that. So like, well, it's kind of like, so like when it's like, I'm never going to correct people on was and where and we're or there. I knew what you were talking about. Like, I hate it when people feel like they're, "Oh, you didn't use a comma." Shut up. Whatever. Ball pit, foam pit. It's a big pit that's safe. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, and you missed it.
Yeah, I wasn't even worried about it. Like, I let that thing sail right on by. No, dude. So like that started my career.
Yes.
But that was one of maybe, I want to say, well over a dozen times in my life where I personally, in my brain, was like, "This is it. Like, I died right here. Like, this is where I'm dying. Like, I'm not gonna survive this."
Dude, but like, why? Like, after that accident, what? Like, I would have been like, "Fuck it, I'm done. I'm not doing this ever again." Like,
So that's where I was initially, but then I was 20 years old, like 21, and it like sparked this whole thing locally, because like I was locally well known to start with, just from being like, that's how I
yeah,
even met Travis. Like, when they were filming, like he was looking for people that would like, do random cool shit.
yeah.
And like everybody kept talking about me locally because they all knew that like I was like just class clown and would do anything basically. And that's how I got the invite over there. But like, man, it's just, I didn't mean, first of all, I didn't mean to like overshoot the foam pit. Like, that was an accident. Like, everybody gives me way more credit than I deserve on that one.
Yeah.
But so initially, because it hurt, and like I thought that like, now I have to live with these lingering injuries my whole life. Still to this day, it's the only one that I feel every single day. But it was right after that, and I'm 21 years old, and I'm downtown Annapolis, and dude, like I was like, everybody and their mother was like buying me drinks, and like everybody wanted to talk to me, and like whenever I was around like a group of chicks, like all the dudes were always like, "You don't know who this is,"
No
and
shit.
like, now I have, all of a sudden I have these like this attention from like chicks that are way out of my league, way out of my league, and like
All
they
right,
think
I
I'm,
see. I see why you did the next one.
dude, fully like that. Girls was the original reason why I got into Nitro Circus, and like I just didn't want to be boring, and um once I like was, it just like slowly, like trip by trip by trip by trip, it was like, you know at that time, like the coolest place I had been was like Florida to go visit my grandma, um and then all of a sudden I'm like traveling around the world, and every single time it was just like this last minute, like I got a passport in 24 hours, because randomly Andy Bell couldn't make it to Romania for Romaniacs, and Greg Godfrey was like, "Hey, do you want to race Romaniacs?" And I was like, "When is it?" He was like, "Oh, it's like, I think he said Thursday." Just ran, just for sake of story, he was like Friday, and it was like Wednesday. And I was all like, okay. And like, I ended up getting my passport within 24 hours. It cost me $980, and I had to do everything actually in DC. Like I was in Washington DC at the official like passport place and the
Yeah.
embassies, because I had to do the Romanian thing. I had to go to their embassy. I had to get like all this stuff, and I had to like, but like these are the stories. And dude, that was the first time I ever got recognized either. Like when I was on that trip in Romania, this dude comes up and he's like, Streetbike Tommy, you know, and I was like, holy shit,
This is awesome.
yeah. So, you know, it was just too cool to pass up, man. And then like in between it all, I still had a regular job. And like it's always been that to this day. Like
Yeah.
I've always had construction work that has carried me through. Oh, and like before I forget, this is totally sidetracked and has nothing to do with nothing. But as far as like Brunt boots, right? So when you guys sent me the boots, right?
Yeah.
I get the boots, I put them on, and I'm like, these are freaking awesome. And like right out of the gate, like best boots I've ever had. Not
Yeah.
even, I'm not just saying it. Like
Oh, yeah.
I've had so up until that pair, like my favorite pair was the Timberland Pros, but this knocks those out of the water because I've really put them through the paces because I got flack. Like, you know how like nerds are like Ford Chevy and like, you
Yep.
know, you get the nerds, right?
Yeah.
And like even the tool nerds, they're like Milwaukee, DeWalt, whatever. Like, I can't stand that shit. Like, you will never know the difference in that tool. Like,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Shut up. It's like, do you like red or yellow? Shut up. But
They're
like,
both a hammer to me.
yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like Brunt boots, dude. Like I was like stoked. I was like, these are extremely well made. They're super comfortable. But then like I got the nerds that were like, oh, Red Wing, and I'm all like, bro, shut up. And they're like, I bought a pair of Brunts and they were ruined in like 3 months. And I was like, send me a picture. And they sent me this picture, right? And the toe looks like somebody kicked the end of metal studs, like a stack of metal studs, for 2 days straight. And I'm all like, no wonder, you know, the rest of the boot looks amazing. Uh, and but here's, I got like super fired up because like as soon as I got my boots, I was like, there's no way that these are going to be, you know, trash. He said 3 months. So I was like, he said, I bet you $100 those aren't going to last 3 months. And I was like, $100 bet. So I got this bet going on with this guy with your boots, right?
There you go.
And dude, I've like put them through the paces. I've worn them every single day. I'm being honest with the bet, right?
Yeah.
And like I've tried to do things. Like I walk on nails all the time. That's the only thing that's really. I got one nail through the side leather, but it didn't pierce the actual boot.
Yeah.
Like just the side leather.
Yep.
And like it was my own fault, like that kind of thing.
Yep.
But like as far as wear, I was like I heel kick deck all the time. So like
Yeah.
when I'm putting like Trex deck.
Yeah.
So like I run through boots like crazy because like I'll heel kick it in place and then hold it, you know, so it like I get a nice tight gap, right?
Yep.
So it holds on those spacers really well, you know, but it smokes the heels, right? And like that glue will give up. Dude, I've been running these things like crazy and not a single thing's wrong with them.
That's what I'm saying.
So I cannot wait to get my $100 from this clown, bro. And like, I shouldn't say clown because he's a nice guy. And like, he was nice in the comments and messages and stuff. But I was like, dude, I'm fully like, I'm in for 100. Like these boots are amazing. And I just want to share that story.
What boot do you got, by the way?
The Perkin.
Oh, well, look at that. Who's it named after?
Yeah, built tough.
Built tough. Tough is out there.
Yeah, dude. So like, I like a full steel toe.
Yeah.
I like a high boot. And I like a thick sole. Because I got a thick sole. What's up? No, but you know, because like we're constantly doing demo.
2 C's.
Yeah. Thick. But yeah, man, like we're doing demo all the time, and like nails are a real issue, and so far they've been not an issue.
So that was one of the biggest things for me, and now I'm not even really talking product. I am talking product, but one of the things that I had a problem with when I was in the trades and coming up was like, dude, I was wearing like the $99, the $89 fucking specials.
Like everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll tell you, as I got older, and injury prone, knee, back issues, all that stuff. You sit there and you're like, I was looking at a lot of older guys and they're wearing just like straight up New Balance, and you're like,
right,
dude, like you're not gonna wear a work boot, and they're like, I don't care if my foot gets cut off, I just want to be fucking comfortable for the day. And that was kind of the thesis for a lot of this stuff, was like, yeah, it's got to be durable, it's got to be safe, but at the same time, comfort is like everything. Key, right? I'm standing on concrete fucking 12 hours plus a day.
Yeah,
and it's just fucking, that's what's gonna put me in the grave, not the fucking
Dude, my brother to this day, he's like the best contractor I know, period. He's the kind of guy that goes to work, puts in a full day, comes home from work, changes his tools out, and then goes back to work because he's got some side job.
Yeah.
And the days when he doesn't have a side job, I see him like at his house. He'll be watching TV, and I'm like, what do you got on? And he's like, watching work. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Stop it. But he's a tennis shoe guy. He loves his tennis shoes.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, the Cali crowd, I mean, those guys are just like Vans out, all day long, just like.
Dude, I don't like Vans.
Vans and Dickie shorts, that's it.
And Dickies are trash too, bro.
Vans and Dickie shorts. I mean, I can't hate because it's a vibe. I mean, you don't fuck with that SoCal vibe, but at the same time, like.
I hate it. Bro, it's just trash.
Shit. Us people up in the Northeast fucking can't take a fucking hot day. Fucking melting.
Dude, me, I prefer it.
Yeah, for real?
I can't do the cold, man. Like right now, like I love wearing shorts and t-shirts. Like I love it. But dude, the cold, my body shuts down. Like it just hurts.
Yeah, I could imagine. I just saw the fucking X-ray you posted. Your fucking knees fucking shot.
Since 2004, it's been like that.
That's rough. They couldn't put like gum in there or something, like pack some cartilage in.
Like they can, but they say that like the only way to fix what I have is a full knee replacement, and they have to do those every 20 years, like, and that's if you're lucky it goes that far. And like I just don't want to do multiple knee replacements.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to hold out as long as possible.
Yeah. Well, my dad got his hip done, and he's like, he feels like fucking Superman now. He's out there.
That's what everybody says, and I'm all like, I'm waiting.
Dude, he's up there doing farm chores and shit. I'm like, Dad, Jesus. He goes, I should have got it done a lot earlier.
I got this hip.
Yeah, I got the hip. Shit. Well, fuck, man. This has been unbelievable. It's great to get to know you. It's great to get your backstory, because I've actually listened to a few podcasts with you, and I obviously know the story. But
yeah,
it's always
nobody ever asks about like the actual like life that led me to it, and like I'm still in it. Like nobody. So when I was negotiating my contract on the 3D movie, I actually had to jump out of a ditch that had a giant jackhammer in, and I'm all like busting up this ground. I'm like trying to take a time out so I can talk to my agent at the time to negotiate a movie deal. It was hilarious, but I've never gotten out of construction, always been in construction. And it was really nice to talk about that side of things.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for everything. And is there anything you want to plug?
Dude, it's just you guys. And like maybe Kicker Audio just gave me a new set of speakers for my truck that I'm putting in next week.
No shit. There you go.
It's a little thing, bro. I got my F-150 that I'm putting, really rad Kicker stereo in, just because I'm in it the most, because like in construction, that's the one thing that I wish I could change about construction is the commutes, are always trash.
Dude, I grew up with we grew up with the sound systems, right?
Yeah.
And for me,
Nobody does it anymore.
But I never was able to afford one. So when I finally get that money, I'm gonna put like fucking subs in the back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the dude that's trunk rattling down the fucking road at like fucking 50 years old.
Yeah, dude. The thing is, I didn't even go subs. Like I went really sick door speakers, like their Q series.
Yeah.
Really, really amazing door speakers, and I just got a little hideaway 10. So like I'm gonna have 10 just for clear base. But yeah, I didn't mean to get sidetracked. But yeah, and I know you're probably trying to wrap this up, and I'm just blabbering.
No, dude. I mean, people don't realize like that was what we did was fucking amp stereos. Like, dude. My buddy had underglow underneath his car. It was like the fucking coolest things. What was it? Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. Like it was like in the 90s version.
I had a Delta 88, bro.
Yeah. Sitting on 18 chromes.
Yeah. I had 4 12-inch solo barracks, and so I've been with Kicker like my whole life. And they were one of my first sponsors, which is funny because like they were first set of speakers that I bought. For an Explorer that I had 4 12s and like no door speakers, no Dynamat, like just subs and amps.
Yeah, that's it.
And the Pioneer with the dolphins that would like digitally kind of like do that thing.
Okay, like the head unit, I never saw them. That's crazy.
The head unit that it had the little show.
It was like a Tamagotchi.
It was like the sickest thing in the world, dude.
Change colors and shit.
Oh yeah, and it was like I had to take it with me when I go into restaurants.
Oh, take the faceplate right off into the case, into the pocket. See you later. But then, dude, I'm dating myself. But my wife, when I first met her, she had like the DVD screen that like pulled out and then like flipped up automatically. I was like,
I had that, bro, and like I was the coolest kid. Like nobody had that.
Nobody. It was so fucking expensive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I miss those days,
dude. Those were good times. Not a fucking care in the world.
Check out my CD collection as I go down the road, and I'm rifling through my CDs.
Dude, all up on the visor, fucking.
Dude, no, you had your bangers in the visor, but you had the book. You had the book, all of them.
It was 4 here, 4 there. Yeah. It was fucking awesome. Yeah. And then if you really made it, you had like a 6 or 8 CD changer in the back in the trunk.
Dude, I had no loot for the changer because I spent all my money with the subs.
Shit. Fuck, man. I feel like we need to have a follow-up podcast on the 90s.
Let's go. Nostalgia, baby.
Shit. Well, hey, thanks for being on, and this was fucking epic.
I appreciate the time, man.
And as a special thanks to our loyal listeners, we're giving $10 off your next purchase of $60 or more at bruntworkwear.com. Use discount code BucketTalk10. That's BucketTalk10